On our website, you can get PDF learning materials for free. Please visit englist.me.
Shelter.
A structure built to protect from poor weather, danger, or attack. Verb, to protect or shield from harm or adversity, particularly relating to environmental conditions or danger.
Examples:
Rainproof shelter, anti-air raid shelter. They need food and shelter.
Neat.
Clean or tidy, with everything in its place.
Examples:
A neat piece of work. Neat idea. She has neat habits.
Gender.
The range of characteristics of femininity and masculinity and differentiating between them, especially when considering social and cultural differences rather than differences in biology.
Examples:
Gender-blind policies. Dual gender. Cultural norms strongly influence gender expectations.
Binary.
A system of numbers that uses only two digits, 0 and 1.
Examples:
A binary number. Trading in binary options. A binary star is a system in which two stars revolve around each other.
Navigate.
To plan and direct the way that a ship, plane, etc. will travel, often by using a map.
Examples:
Navigate the Pacific. Navigate through a document. Our knowledge helps navigate our clients successfully.
Blink.
To shut and open the eyes quickly, to gleam or glow in a regular or intermittent way.
Examples:
Blink his eyes. Blink in astonishment. He blinked in the dazzling sunlight.
Stall.
To stop or cause to stop making progress. Noun, small area or booth set off for the sale of goods in a market or large covered area.
Examples:
Stall at sea. Stall in a tunnel. The negotiations proceeded slowly and finally stalled.
Neutral.
Not helping or assisting either side in a conflict, argument, etc.
Examples:
Permanently neutral country. Neutral colors. A legislative speaker should always be neutral.
Mainstream.
The ideas, opinions, beliefs, etc., that are considered normal or accepted by most people.
Examples:
Join the mainstream. Mainstream political beliefs. His thinking is mainstream in the country's culture.
Individual.
A single person or thing, as distinct from a group.
Examples:
A private individual. Individual freedom. As an individual, he had the right to make his own decisions and live his life as he saw fit.
Communal.
Belonging to or used by a group rather than individuals, for common use.
Examples:
Communal swimming pool. Communal combination of funds. Communal elections were held in several European countries.
Gym.
A place equipped for exercise and other physical training.
Examples:
Gym membership. A gym suit. She went to the fully equipped gym to work out every day.
Strip.
To remove the surface from something. Noun, a sizable narrow piece of something such as paper, metal, cloth, etc., or area of land, sea, etc.
Examples:
Strip a tire off. Coast strip. The doctor advised him to strip down for a check.
Fame.
The condition of being well known and discussed by a large number of people as a result of one's accomplishments, abilities, etc.
Examples:
Leap into fame. His undying fame. Good fame is better than a good face.
Insulate.
To protect something by interposing material that prevents heat, noise, electricity, etc.
Examples:
Insulate the room from sound. Insulate electricity. We had our bedroom insulated before winter came.
Tackle.
To try to deal with a complex problem or situation.
Examples:
Tackle the issue. Help tackle climate change. The government is determined to tackle sharp inflation.
Basis.
The most important facts, ideas, or events from which something is developed, the way how things are organized or arranged.
Examples:
On an equal basis. Basis for calculation. This evidence will form the basis for our discussion.
Tomboy.
A girl who exhibits characteristics or behaviors that are typically associated with boys, such as a preference for rough play, sports, or wearing boys' clothing.
Examples:
Tomboy outfit. Tomboy personality. The character in the book was a spunky tomboy who refused to conform to gender expectations.
Masculine.
Having characteristics or an appearance that are usually regarded as typical or appropriate for men.
Examples:
Wear masculine attire. Masculine beauty. Her allure lies in her masculine rather than feminine beauty.
Predominantly.
Mainly, mostly, or primarily, having the greatest influence or power in a particular situation or group.
Examples:
Predominantly rural. Predominantly Christian. The neighborhood is predominantly made up of young families with children.
Estrogen.
A category of female steroid sex hormone responsible for the development and regulation of the female reproductive system and secondary sex characteristics.
Examples:
Estrogen receptor. Estrogen-responsive breast cancer. The older woman also suffers bone loss caused by estrogen deficiency.
Harass.
To annoy, torment, or pester persistently, to subject someone to repeated or chronic attacks or unwelcome attention.
Examples:
Harass the enemy. Harass with constant criticism. She was constantly harassed by her ex-boyfriend and had to get a restraining order.
Verbal.
Expressed in spoken rather than written words.
Examples:
Verbal communication. Verbal abuse. The candidate must have excellent verbal skills.
Haul.
To physically drag or pull someone or something with effort.
Examples:
Haul on a rope. Haul truck. They had to haul the boat out of the water for repairs.
Pants.
An item of clothing that covers the lower part of the body and each leg separately, typically with a waistband and two legs.
Examples:
Woolly pants. Pajama pants. I always wear pants when I go outside, even in the summer.
Halfway.
In or at a point midway or an equal distance between 2 points.
Examples:
Halfway through my journey. Halfway decent job. The famous restaurant stands halfway up the hill.
Scream.
To give a loud, high shout suddenly, especially because of fear, anger, excitement, etc., to utter or declare in a very loud voice.
Examples:
Scream a profanity. Scream at him to be quiet. She kept screaming for an ambulance.
Whisper.
To speak very quietly to somebody using the breath rather than the voice so that only those close to you can hear you.
Examples:
Answer in a whisper. The whisper of the leaves. He took me aside and whispered in my ear.
Smack.
To hit something or someone with force, often making a loud noise, to deliver a sharp criticism or rebuke.
Examples:
Smack on the lips. Smack his knee. The baseball player smacked the ball out of the park, securing a home run.
Shin.
The front part of the leg below the knee.
Examples:
Shin guard. Shin injury. The pain in his shin made it hard for him to walk.
Roll.
To move in a particular direction by turning over and over or from side to side.
Examples:
roll a ball, roll down his cheeks. He was exhausted and rolled into bed as soon as he got home.
Dilemma.
A situation in which a difficult choice has to be made between two or more options, especially that are equally unfavorable ones.
Examples:
chicken and egg dilemma. Be in a dilemma. The choice between bureaucracy and adhocracy represents a common dilemma.
Monger.
To sell or promote something, especially by using aggressive or exaggerated tactics, to peddle or deal in, usually negative, information, rumors, or gossip. Noun, a dealer, trader, or seller of a particular commodity or goods.
Examples:
fishmonger. Monger hate speech. Some politicians use fear to monger support for their policies.
Politician.
A person who is a member of a government or lawmaking organization, especially as an elected member of parliament, etc.
Examples:
a politician in the ruling party. A corrupt politician. The politician lost his position in the end due to the scandal.
Legislate.
To make or enact laws, to exert control or influence through the creation or enforcement of laws.
Examples:
legislate gun control. Legislate against discrimination. The government needs to legislate stricter laws to protect the environment.
Deem.
To consider or decide something in a particular way.
Examples:
deem socially responsible. Deem wrong or inappropriate. Regarding earthquakes, some commercial buildings were deemed unsafe.
Appropriate.
Suitable or proper in the circumstances, fitting.
Examples:
appropriate behavior. An appropriate time. It would be appropriate to dress nicely for the wedding.
Assign.
To give a specific job or piece of work to a someone.
Examples:
assign projects. Assign top priority. Please assign a different color to each other kind of item.
Enforce.
To make sure that people obey a particular law, rule, or situation.
Examples:
enforce the law. Enforce a contract. Governments make rules, and police enforce them.
Genital.
Of or relating to the external and internal reproductive organs.
Examples:
genital bleeding. Pain in the genital area. The genital organs of the human body are necessary for reproduction.
Inspection.
The act of examining, assessing, or reviewing something to ensure its accuracy, quality, safety, or compliance, the process of investigating or evaluating something.
Examples:
Inspection report. Regular inspection. Before starting the project, the engineer performed an inspection of the construction site.
Ethics.
A branch of philosophy that considers what is morally right and wrong conduct, a set of beliefs about what is morally right and wrong.
Examples:
Political ethics. Ethics of journalism. This scripture provides the code of ethics for the religion.
Plausible.
Seeming reasonable or likely to be true, and therefore convincing.
Examples:
Plausible explanation. A plausible liar. She could find no plausible explanation for its failure.
Foster.
To promote a growth, to take care of another person's child, usually for a limited time, without becoming their legal parents.
Examples:
Foster a better relationship. Foster 2 kids. The pastor contributed to fostering the sense of a community embracing all classes.
Promote.
To encourage or persuade people to like, buy, use, do, or support something, to raise someone to a higher position or rank.
Examples:
Promote a better relationship. Promote bad behavior. The government should do more to promote sustainable agribusiness.
Transphobia.
Prejudice, discrimination, or hostility towards transgender people or people who do not conform to traditional gender roles or expectations.
Examples:
Overcome transphobia. Experience transphobia. Discrimination and harassment against transgender individuals is a form of transphobia still prevalent in many parts of the world.
Suffer.
To experience pain, distress, or hardship, to undergo or endure something painful or unpleasant.
Examples:
Suffer a setback. Suffer bad grades. The older man suffers from arthritis and finds it difficult to move around.
Opt.
To make a choice from a range of possibilities.
Examples:
Opt out of society. Opt for a traditional wedding. I decided to opt for premature retirement.
Confirm.
To support or establish the truth or certainty of something previously believed or suspected to be the case.
Examples:
Confirm the diagnosis. Confirm a transaction. Please write to confirm your reservation.
Addition.
The act or process of adding something to something else, the process of adding numbers.
Examples:
Chemical addition. Addition of vectors. In addition, private corporations provide healthcare services.
Quitter.
A person who gives up easily or does not have the determination to finish what they have started.
Examples:
Easy quitter. Serial quitter. He was labeled as a quitter after he abandoned the project halfway.
Identify.
To recognize someone or something and say or prove who or what they are.
Examples:
Identify handwriting. Identify gene sequences. I will introduce you to how to identify the leading causes of the malfunction.
Cowboy.
A man, typically one on horseback, who herds and tends cattle, especially in the western U.S., a person who behaves roughly or recklessly, typically a man, a skilled ranch worker who is adept at many tasks, especially those involving horses and cattle.
Examples:
Cowboy rodeo. Cowboy boots. The cowboy hat she wore added to her rugged and tough look.
Caterpillar.
The worm-like larva of a butterfly or moth.
Examples:
Caterpillar of a butterfly. Caterpillar in a cocoon. The woolly bear caterpillar munched on leaves all day.
Toy.
A thing, typically a small model or replica of something that is played with, especially by children.
Examples:
Toy store. Toy box. He gave his daughter a new toy for her birthday.
Bug.
Any tiny insect, a fault or defect in a computer program, system, or machine.
Examples:
Bug bites. Number of bug fixes. I found a stink bug crawling across the ceiling.
Jar.
A cylindrical container, typically made of glass, metal, or pottery, with a wide mouth and a screwed or sealed lid, used for storing food, liquids, and other materials.
Examples:
A jar of jam. A water jar. He placed the coins in a jar to save for a trip.
Camouflage.
An outward appearance that conceals the underlying essence of something, the way of concealing troops or military equipment so they cannot be seen against the surrounding environment.
Examples:
Camouflage clothing. Work as camouflage. They utilized branches of trees as camouflage.
Awesome.
Inspiring fear, admiration, or respect. Very good, nice, fun, etc.
Examples:
Awesome mental faculty. Have an awesome birthday. There is a lot of awesome nature and food in Hawaii.
Preschool.
Relating to or denoting the period before a child begins primary school. Noun, the activities or education provided during this time.
Examples:
preschool education. During preschool years. My old school's preschool program was well regarded and had an excellent reputation.
Soggy.
Soaked with or full of moisture, especially to the point of being heavy or waterlogged, soft and wet due to saturation with liquid, lacking firmness or crispness due to excessive moisture.
Examples:
soggy ground, soggy potato chips. The picnic was canceled due to the soggy weather.
Instruct.
To teach someone practical skills or knowledge, to formally order or tell someone to do something.
Examples:
instruct a student, instruct a computer. The facility manager instructed the security guards to be on high alert.
Resist.
To refuse to accept something and attempt to prevent it from happening.
Examples:
resist temptation, resist being kissed. I chose to resist cancer by trying every possible treatment.
Empower.
To give someone the power or authority to do something.
Examples:
empower my life. Empower the secretary to do the same. The company empowered employees to buy low-price items without approval to achieve efficient purchasing.
Brutal.
Harsh or cruel.
Examples:
brutal bully, brutal honesty. The brutal attack left the victim with serious injuries.
March.
To walk militarily with stiff, regular steps.
Examples:
march against the war. March east. The troops marched shoulder to shoulder.
Mad.
Insane, especially due to a mental illness, very angry.
Examples:
a mad person. Gets mad easily. He was mad with joy to see the results.
Cough.
To expel air from the lungs suddenly and noisily, often as a reaction to irritation, illness, or some other physical condition. Noun, a sudden, forceful expulsion of air from the lungs, often accompanied by a distinctive sound.
Examples:
cough several times. Persistent cough. I can't stop coughing and think I might have caught a cold.
Sneeze.
To make a sudden, involuntary expulsion of air from the nose and mouth, usually due to irritation caused by the presence of dust, pollen, or other irritants.
Examples:
sneeze into my hand. Sneeze loudly. Whenever I get a cold, I tend to sneeze a lot.
Upstairs.
On or to an upper or highest floor of a building.
Examples:
live upstairs. Go upstairs to rest. I heard a noise upstairs.
Stretch.
To make or be capable of making anything longer or broader without hurting or breaking.
Examples:
Stretch along the coast. Stretch a story. Some herds have been observed to stretch hundreds of kilometers.
Bladder.
A hollow, flexible sac-like organ in the body that stores and expels fluids such as urine or bile.
Examples:
Bladder infection. Swollen bladder. Drinking too much coffee can irritate the bladder and cause frequent urination.
Comfort.
A state of physical ease and freedom from pain or constraint.
Examples:
Words of comfort. Comfort level. He found comfort in the warm embrace of his loved ones.
Bench.
A long, flat surface, often elevated and supported by legs, used for sitting, working, or displaying objects. Persons who administer justice.
Examples:
Bench conference. Bench board. I sat on the bench in the park and enjoyed the beautiful scenery.
Overnight.
Lasting for or occurring during one night, occurring or changing extremely quickly or suddenly, happening or being achieved in a short amount of time.
Examples:
Overnight parking. Overnight success. The overnight package delivery arrived at my door this morning.
Priority.
Something that is more important than other things and should be dealt with first.
Examples:
Priority call. Priority seating for elderly. Her priority is to be a mother.
Offend.
To cause someone to feel upset, angry, or annoyed.
Examples:
Offend his sensibilities. Offend a customer. His rude comments offended many people at the party.
Morality.
Principles of right and evil or good and bad behavior.
Examples:
Business morality. Sense of morality. She found fault with the morality of politicians.
Masculinity.
The qualities or attributes traditionally associated with men, such as physical strength, courage, assertiveness, and so on, the state of being male or manly.
Examples:
Masculinity norms. Toxic masculinity. Research has shown that rigid ideas of masculinity can contribute to domestic violence and other forms of abuse.
Religion.
A deep conviction in a supernatural power that controls human destiny.
Examples:
Religion sociology. Freedom of religion. Their religion strictly prohibits them from drinking or gambling.
Appeal.
A serious, earnest, or urgent request for money, information, or help, a quality that makes somebody or something attractive or interest.
Examples:
Draw out your appeal. An appeal for help. He needed to resolve the problem as soon as possible, so he made an appeal directly.
Grade.
A particular level of quality, size, importance, etc.
Examples:
Boys in the 12th grade. Students at all grade levels. Departments may set requirements for a higher grade point average.
Cruel.
Feeling or showing pleasure in causing pain or suffering to others.
Examples:
A cruel and unusual punishment. Cruel joke. The dictator was known for his cruel and oppressive regime.
Anxiety.
A feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease about something that is happening or might happen in the future.
Examples:
Diagnosis of anxiety disorder. Anxiety for knowledge. She waited for her daughter with anxiety.
Disability.
A physical or mental condition that makes it difficult for someone to do some things that other people do.
Examples:
A disability pension. A learning disability. Listening to music at a high volume may lead to a hearing disability.
Assist.
To help someone in doing anything.
Examples:
Assist a patient. Assist his goal. Please assist her with the furniture relocation.
Folk.
People in general, especially those of a particular group or type.
Examples:
Folk art. The folk songs of a particular district. Some seaweed was used as folk medicine in ancient times.
Shyness.
The quality or state of being worried or embarrassed about meeting and speaking to other people.
Examples:
Lose some of my shyness. Shyness barrier. He finally overcame his shyness.
Disrobe.
To undress, remove clothing, or shed garments, to take off or divest oneself of clothing, especially in a deliberate or ceremonial manner.
Examples:
Disrobe in front of the mirror. Disrobe for a shower. After a long day at work, she only wanted to disrobe and relax in her pajamas.
Peer.
A person who has the same age, status, or ability.
Examples:
Peer group. Peer review. Among young people, peer pressure can be pretty influential.
Facility.
A building or place that provides a particular service or is used for a particular industry.
Examples:
A cell phone with an internet facility. Facility design. This company has an entire recycling facility, including major reprocessing plants.